we absolutely love this frickin' defense. Like, as the thumbnail and even the title shows and says, this defense is something special. It really is. They just keep making plays. They keep closing games. They keep making plays. They keep forcing turnovers, applying pressure. Joe Hayden had 2 picks today, one of them being a game stealer, his second straight week where he seals the game with an interception, man. Credit to TJ Watt for the pressure. TJ Watt himself had a pick in the end zone, which looked very similar to, Harrison's pick against the Cardinals. Only, of course, it's on the opposite side of where Harrison was. But, hey, man. And, of course, the pick six did not happen. But still, man, this defense just keeps making plays, man. This defense is special. This defense is elite. It's official. The Cardinals' offense, of course, isn't anything special. But, man, they saved the day. They did it again.
Not only just today, this game, they're basically saving our entire season.
Yeah,
if we had the defense we had 3 years ago, my God.
Oh, there's no doubt. I'm thinking Super Bowl, but that's in the past, of course. But man, I'm just glad that we now have a great defense again. We've always been known as a defensive team. Of course, it's still curtain back in the 70s, even the 90s, man. The 90s defense was real good. And, of course, we all know 2008 and the mid-2000s up until 2010 shit, man.
Pretty much the whole Dick LeBeau era.
Yeah. It's just,
when our defense was literally number one for, 7 straight years?
Yeah. And now,
by the way, which one of the most underrated defenses of all time.
Absolutely. But now this defense is back to an elite stature, or at least the Steelers' defense is back to an elite stature after so many years of just depressing, dreadful, god-awful, just disgusting defensive performances. I remember at one point we were last in the league in literally everything. It was painful to watch as our offense would rise to the top and pretty much be the highlight of our team. And now it's pretty much the fucking opposite.
Right.
But man, this defense is so fucking great. When the offense makes mistakes or when the coaches make mistakes, the defense just comes in clutch and makes plays and
gets the job done. Saves our ass. They've saved our ass this entire season.
Yeah, it's
like if our defense was literally awful this year, and this is why Tomlin made the move for not only Devin Bush to fill the void at inside linebacker in the draft earlier this year. This is why he traded a first-round pick for Minka Fitzpatrick because he was a huge helping hand in this defense.
Oh, clearly.
It's clearly showing since he wore
black and gold. It's like ever since he has come into this city, into this team, into this defense has just become an elite stature, man. It's incredible. And I'm not discrediting any of the other guys on the defense. Everyone is doing real good, And
the thing that really hurt our defense years prior to this year was communication.
And chemistry.
Yes, chemistry was completely god-awful. They were literally arguing on the sidelines about, oh, you should have been there, oh, you should have done this and that, and stuff like that. Now look at this defense.
Yeah.
My God.
Now,
it just puts a smile on my face.
Seriously.
That we finally have a great, elite, top 5, arguably top 3 defense.
Absolutely, man. Well said. Now, of course, this defense isn't perfect. There are some small flaws. They do give up a few big plays here and there, but they always make it up in the end with sealing the game like they have today and last week, man. This defense is, again, something special. Defense did it again. They saved the day. They sealed the game. Man, it's just this whole defense is incredible. TJ Watt with a pick, applying constant pressure on Kyler Murray. Bud Dupree had a sack and applied constant pressure, man. Bud Dupree is really stepping up. He looked real good in the rushing defense as well, man. I'd even say he's almost at an elite stature when it comes to the rushing game, man. He is just so fucking great at that, man. He complements TJ Watt really well in that.
He does.
As well as this entire defensive line. Joe Hayden, 2 picks today, man. Just great. He could be on his way back to the Pro Bowl after so many years, man. It's insane. Vince Williams had a sack.
People said Joe Hayden was washed up. Yeah, my ass.
Yeah.
My ass. Yeah, nice job, Cleveland. You got rid of him. Now look at him.
Yeah.
He could very well potentially go back to the Pro Bowl, in which I think he definitely should.
Yeah.
He's having a career year.
Yeah, he's had 3 picks in the last 2 games, 2 of them being game sealers. He has 4 picks on the season right now. Nuts.
It is nuts.
Incredible, man. It's just this entire defense is stepping up. Offense. Now, of course, they didn't do anything fancy.
Nor do we expect them
Absolutely.
to.
You know, they were decent. I'd say they were decent. You know, they definitely could have scored on some possessions and some plays that they should have, and they should have taken advantage of what defense kind of gave them and shit. And there were a few flaws with the offense a little bit. But with who they had, they did pretty well again this week for the second straight week with who they had. They got the job done for the most part. Of course, they still have shit to work on, but, you know, you do have a third-string undrafted rookie quarterback still starting, who I think should totally be the starter for manager of the year, man. He has just been... Hodges isn't doing anything fancy. He's not throwing for 300 yards or 4 touchdowns. He's not doing anything fancy.
Right.
He's a backup, but he's a real good backup. He's getting the job done. He's extending plays. He's fighting off pressure. He's just helping the offense move a little bit. Again, they're not doing anything special with who they had. They've gotten the job done for the most part.
Right.
It's all you can ask for from Devin Hodges, and he's getting the job done.
Yeah, as long as he can not make any mistakes, which he's hardly really done since becoming the starter.
Mm-hmm.
His decision making is a lot better. His accuracy is better. His composure is a whole lot better.
Yeah.
Everything just about him over Mason is pretty much better when he's under center.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still a fan of Mason. I feel like if he gets more development, maybe he could be a little bit better. But right now, Hodges needs to stay the starter.
Yes.
He's been a hell of a lot better. Turnovers have been... I mean, we still give up turnovers, but...
Yeah, because Benny Snell fumbled and Hodges fumbled, although it was recovered. But still, again, small flaws the offense needs to work on.
Right, but
the
with
ball
with
security
the
specifically.
offensive turnovers, that's decreased since Hodges has came in.
Yeah.
When Rudolph was in, we kept giving away turnovers,
Yeah.
and that's something that I really did not like to see with Mason in. With Hodges in, it's like a breath of fresh air. I feel more comfortable. I feel more calm. I feel more like the offense can do something.
Yeah.
And that's what they're pretty much doing. They're
Yeah.
not doing anything major or epic or fancy, but they're getting the job done, and that's all I could ask for.
Yeah, and again, this is without Juju or Connor, and they're probably going to be back next week for the Bills Sunday night game. So when they get back, the offense could be a little better, which is a little exciting, honestly. Another thing about Hodges that he's better at Mason at is, of course, he can evade pressure. He can escape pressure. He can extend plays with his feet. I remember one time, I think it was like a 3rd and long or some shit. A 3rd and 13, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. He was, of course, in the pocket. Then he motioned out to the left to extend the play and everything, escape pressure. And it looked like he was going to run, but he threw a dot to Deontay Johnson for the first down and help us, move the change and shit. It's just those small things. I don't even think that's a small thing, but some small things about Hodges mean the most for this offense, honestly. It's just...
And it helps the offense.
Really, it helps us move the chains. It helps the offense make some more plays and shit. So, speaking of plays, speaking of Deontay Johnson, what a game. Deontay Johnson, man. He had an 85-yard punt return touchdown, which is the first punt return touchdown since 2015 from he who shall not be named. He had a receiving touchdown. He had, I believe...
6 receptions for about 60 yards, I believe.
And a touchdown, man. But Deontay, and he had a few end arounds and a few trick plays that he ran up and got and moved the chains, got some first downs and shit.
Yeah,
So
seriously.
Deontay Johnson was a stud today. He was the biggest playmaker on offense and everything, and he just had a hell of a game. Great job for Deontay Johnson. You know, I think James Washington having a hell of a month this past month and everything. I think that really opened the door for Deontay Johnson. He was pretty much making plays, and he was like the only guy on the offense and receiving wise to do anything. And of course that's because of James Washington. You know, Deontay Johnson was just bullying Byron Murphy. 2 rookies going at it and everything, but Deontay Johnson was winning most of the matchup. Byron Murphy had to have a few pass interference, a few holding penalties, just try to slow down Deontay Johnson, man. So it's nuts. It's good. It's great. It's awesome to see him step up as Juju.
Seriously, this guy is a stud. He's going to be a stud, and I'm sure Daryl Drake's looking down, smiling at Deontay Johnson, because if it wasn't for him, he would not be in the black and gold.
Absolutely.
And I am really looking forward to see what he does in the future.
Absolutely.
I really am.
Absolutely, man. With Washington and Johnson stepping up, we might get Juju back next week. So it's promising. It's exciting. You know, just thinking about it, thinking of what they could potentially do in this league with a lot more to develop and understand and learn and eventually marinate and everything. It's exciting to think about. So hopefully we see some of that next week and shit against the Bills. But offense, they didn't do nothing fancy. They didn't really do anything major, but they did pretty decent. They did kind of get the job done. They do have a few mistakes to work on, but with who they had this week, they got the job done. They did pretty well. Devlin Hodges should remain the starter for the rest of the year. He had a real good game. Again, he didn't do anything fancy, nor does he need to. He's a backup, but man, he gets the job done. He helps the offense out a little bit. He helps move the change. His touchdown throw to Deontay Johnson was just picture perfect. Exactly where Deontay Johnson needed to have it. Exactly where only Deontay Johnson can get it. Where the defender can't. It's almost impossible for a defender to defend that when that throw is made. Perfect ball placement from Devlin Hodges, man. Just great shit, man. And hopefully we continue to see it down the road. Hope this young core in the receiving game just continues to strike and show up and improve and everything and just make plays. So, good win. Much needed win, of course. Helped us in the playoff picture. Really good win. It wasn't necessarily the prettiest win. You know, it's in Arizona. It was kind of a trap game in many's eyes. But
anyway, although we did pretty much have the game sealed after the TJ Watt touchdown, but a questionable, and I don't know why the Steelers did it, they did a fake punt.
Yes.
In our territory, which I felt was idiotic. Like, you pretty much have the game sealed. Like, if you just quickly punt it, then the defense can just pretty much do its job. But yet you gave the Cardinals offense a much-needed opportunity for them to score, and that's pretty much what they did.
They did, but I believe David Johnson, correct me if I'm wrong. And Tomlin did admit in his post-game press conference that he called that play. Tomlin, you are doing phenomenal this fucking year. With who you lost and what you have now, you have done phenomenal this year. In my opinion, you are coach of the fucking year.
Without a doubt.
You lost your Hall of Fame, your future Hall of Fame gold jacket franchise starting quarterback. You lost Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown in free agency and shit. It's
just lost so much.
Yeah.
Especially on the offensive side of the ball.
Juju and Connor's been out most of the year and shit. It's just with who he's had and what he's done to help this team succeed. He knew he had to rely on the defense. That's why he helped, and that's why he went to go get trade up to go get Devin Bush, and that's why he traded for Minka Fitzpatrick. And look at the defense now, man. It's incredible. It's phenomenal. It's elite. But that call on fourth down was very questionable and idiotic and confusing. So hopefully,
it actually almost cost us the game too. But thank God that the defense held their own.
Yeah.
Again, they saved their ass.
Yeah.
How many times do they have to do it?
Yeah.
I'm just glad they do it. Thank God.
Because they just remain consistent. In the Rams game, the offense was so dreadful and dead and disgusting and so bad.
Nothing was going on, but the defense held their own all game.
Yeah, they just kept the foot on the gas, pedal to the metal shit, and just kept making plays, kept making stops, 3-and-outs, turnovers. It was just incredible. And they're not slowing down. They're
remaining consistent every time they're on the field in every game.
Yeah, even in Arizona, an away game, man. And shout out to Steelers Nation for pretty much invading what stadium are they? I forget. Arizona. I'm just gonna say Arizona and shit. Just Steelers Nation, man. Just continues to ride out west and everything.
Of course.
You might as well just call the West Coast Pittsburgh, because that's pretty much what it is now. Every Steelers Nation just invades the West Coast and shit. You know, they did it with the Chargers. They did it, of course, today with the Cardinals. So it's awesome, man. But great win today. Really needed the win for the playoff picture. Defense continues to look strong. Offense is getting a little better. Another name I want to shout out is Kareth White. We need to give the ball to him a little more because he has a little bit of explosiveness, a little bit of speed that the rush game could use. I'd say give the ball to him a little more. Split some reps with him, Connor, and Snell and everything. I think it's real nice. I think he adds a little bit of explosiveness and speed to the offense that we need. So he's real cool. I think we need to give him the rock a little more.
And I definitely agree.
Yeah, man. So real good win. Really needed it for the playoff picture and everything. So defense continues to hold their own, man. There's just an elite fucking defense, man.
And again, if we had the defense we had 3 years ago when it was god awful, we would not be 8-5 right now.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that this defense is doing their job finally after years of just depression on that defense.
This
defense just brings me joy and happiness. I'm like, thank fucking Christ.
I feel confident because I remember when our defense from previous years would come on the field. I'm like, you know, with that sound effect shit from the cartoons. Man, I feel confident when they come on the field. You know, I see TJ Watt fucking swooping under, hitting that swim move and shit. applying pressure. Bud Dupree doing the same thing. Cam Hayward coming in and stopping the run and his bull rush. And, man.
You got Hayden and Nelson locking down the number 1 and 2 receivers. You got Minka up there keeping an eye up.
It's awesome.
Damn.
It's great, man.
It is, but great win. We had to 8-5. We are still the number 6 seed in the AFC playoff picture.
Yeah, man. And we got the Buffalo Bills next week. Where's that? In Pittsburgh, I believe?
Pittsburgh Sunday night.
Yeah, man. So we come back home in prime time, man. So it should be very interesting. I think if we win this game, it'll speak a lot of volumes on what this team could potentially do in the playoffs if we make the playoffs, man. Against the Bills, the Bills are pretty decent this year. Their defense is real good. Their offense is starting to strike a little more. So if we can beat them next week, I think it'll speak volumes for what holds in the future and shit. So It'll be awesome, man. So let us know your guys' thoughts down below, man. And see you guys next one. Also, by the way, TJ Watt needs to win Defensive Player of the Year.
Oh, without a doubt.
There's no one. I don't want to say there's no one in his circle right now, but TJ Watt, my God. Like, I think you said it right before we recorded. When he's not getting sacks, he's getting picks.
Or he's making some sort of play on the defensive side of the football.
Exactly. Like,
the guy's consistent. The guy's unstoppable.
This guy is so fucking... And he's so young. He's so young, man. I believe this is his 4th full year as outside linebacker. He only played 1 full year of outside linebacker in college. That's what got him into the first... Well, his name also helped. But, man, it's not just his name no more, motherfucker.
No, people are saying, it's a reach. We only got him for his name. Are you
Really?
sure about that now?
Yeah.
I'm sure about that. TJ Watt, Defensive Player of the Year.
No one else, man. TJ fucking Watt. Let us know your guys' thoughts down below. See you guys next one, man. Let's go Steelers.
Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you guys later.
Peace!